hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and this is Nigel, who is on one right now. We are gonna talk about the anticipated releases that we're excited about, I'm excited about for 2022. That sounds disgusting. That's next month. It'll be January of 2022, and we're still in this penny proud. Okay, so last year I feel like I had too many anticipated releases, and then I'm a mood reader, so I wasn't in the mood for some of them. I had quite a lot of disappointments, and I mean, some I legitimately forgot about. So I tried to pare it down this year, and most of these have a release date. They have a cover, most of them. Some of them don't have a cover, and there's a couple at the end that don't have a release date, but they're supposed to come out next year. But I mostly stuck to ones that had a solid release date because there were lots that are rumored or at least have been like put on Goodreads, but not a lot of information is out about them. So for the most part, these should be the dates that these books are gonna come out in. I'm gonna try to go in order. I say try because I did have to go back and squeeze some in the timelines. I hope they're in order. Do you hear this dog? Nigel! Lay down. Another note is that I don't like to read the full synopsis. I feel like it gives away too much information. So I kind of scan for words that will pique my interest. So if I don't give you a whole full summary, that's why. I just don't do it. Has it gotten me in trouble sometimes? Yes, but oh well. So starting off the year right, I hope. On January 1st, 2022, I have Digging Up Love by Chandra Blumberg. Or Blumberg. This is a romance, and here's what someone sent this to me. Like, they were like, I think you'll love this. And I think the heroine is a baker and the hero is a paleontologist. I think she finds like a dinosaur bone in the back of her grandparents' yard, and then this dude who's a paleontologist comes over there and somehow love ensues. I'm intrigued. That's all I read about it, and that's all I'm gonna know. But it looks super cute. And it is a black love romance, so fingers crossed. Hey, stop licking your feet! January 18th, I have How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. So this one I have is like a sci-fi dystopian, although it's in the near future because it says 2030, yikes. But there's it's the aftermath of a climate plague, and we start with a grieving archaeologist in the Arctic Circle. It sounds incredible. Sounds very intriguing. Some other things, you know what? I see Arctic plague virus. So being that we're still in the penny proud, this may not be for everyone, but I am intrigued. So hopefully that's a good one, and I'm pretty sure that's an adult novel as well. Then I have an adult, I have written down sci-fi horror, and it is being published by Tor Nightfire, which I think is their horror line. So it's called Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. And the tagline is a ghost ship, salvage crew, unspeakable horrors. So apparently it's the Titanic meets The Shining, where essentially they're like ships in space. And this ship is like returning from a job or something and runs into another ship that went missing on its maiden voyage but hasn't been seen for 20 years. So that makes me think of the movie Ghost Ship with Juliana Margulies. I don't think that movie was like well received, but I really liked it when I watched it years ago. But that's what this made me think of, and so I'm intrigued. And the cover looks creepy, so hopefully that's a good. I didn't even say the date. Also on January 25th is The Red Palace by June Her. Now this one I thought was a fantasy, but I don't think so. It's a young adult historical mystery because it just says it's set in Korea in 1758. It says that the main character is thrust into court politics after 4 women are murdered in a single night, and I think she's also trying to get her father's approval I don't know. I know that someone, when I had one wrap up and I had read a book that was translated from Korean, and they said that this book was coming out next year by June Her. And so I don't know, it sounds really good. So fingers crossed for all of these, you know. We're always, it's anticipated. We're going off of the little we know, but I'm hopeful. Also on January 25th, this one is nonfiction, and it's called Open, an uncensored memoir of love, liberation, and non-monogamy by Rachel Krantz. And I was like, yes, please. I have a video that's coming about books that I don't. Anyway, I have a video that's coming, and this spoke to me. So I'm gonna read it. Still on January 25th, I have Goliath by Tochi Onyebuchi, and I have not read anything by him yet. I know, and I own Riot Baby. It's really a shame. But this one is a sci-fi, another kind of dystopian in the near future, in the 2050s. It says Earth has begun to empty, so those who have money and privilege have left Earth. Sound familiar? And let's see, they've left Earth for more comfortable confines in space. Those left behind are like salvaging out a living from, you know, I'm sure the planet that is devoid of most of the natural resources and whatever. I have quite a few like dystopian kind of books on here, but they're more adult, so I hope that we're seeing more like this become a thing in publishing, because there was a big like YA dystopian time, and I hope that I'm in the mental space to read these next year when they come out, because they sound really good. I may not get to them right when they come out, but I hope to get to them. And I also just need to freaking read Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi. Like, I need to get it over with because I hear it's amazing, so I hope this one is good as well. And the last one I have on January 25th is another nonfiction, and it's South to America, A Journey Below the Mason-Dixon to Understand the Soul of a Nation by Imani Perry. An essential journey through the American South and the way it defines American identity from one of our most extraordinary writers on race and culture at work today. So we all think we know the South. Even those who have never lived there, who have never been there, can rattle off a list of signifiers that define the South for them. So this book is about her really going into detail about how the meaning of being American is linked to the South. I was born and raised in South Carolina, and it has its ups and downs with being a Southerner. But it's still home, still very proud to be from the South. So I was like, this sounds good. This sounds right up my alley. So definitely will be getting to that one. And most of these I probably will not be pre-ordering, except the nonfiction, because it's like part of my thing going into 2022. That'll be a separate video, but for the most part, I'm gonna try to get these from the library. Maybe an e-arc or e-audio. But I don't plan to buy all of these. That's a lot of books. I just said that and then I lied, because the next book I have is by Ruta Sepetys, and I've loved all of her books that I've read so far. I think she has 4 and I've read 3 of them. And so this is a new one. She writes young adult historical fiction, and she mostly focuses on stories that aren't talked about a lot. So of course, most historical fiction, or at least most popular historical fiction, is about World War II. And not like she hasn't covered that, but she focuses on different areas. My favorite of hers is Salt to the Sea. Holy crap. My favorite. It's the only one I haven't read is Out of the Easy. I own it. That one's a story in New Orleans, so different. But loved all the other ones, so this one I may just buy. It's called I Must Betray You, and this one is set in Romania in 1989. So this is really following the communist regime that was in control, and we have a 17-year-old main character who wants to be a writer, but those are not the kind of dreams that they're allowed to have, or they're not really allowed to dream at all under that regime. So I'm really excited. I've loved all of her books, like I said, and so I might just order that one because I love Ruta. It's February 8th, and it's called God is a Black Woman. Hello. By Christina Cleveland. And I think this is a memoir. So Christina Cleveland, it says, is a theologian, social psychologist, and activist. And she spent years talking in churches, but she felt like she could no longer trust this God, you know, that she had been taught to worship. That's always imagined as a white man. And I was like, okay. And that's all I needed to hear. So I need that. Also, it's a beautiful cover. I mean, so I need that. Amen. Okay, again on February 8th, I have another nonfiction that is called Rethinking Sex, A Provocation by Christina Imba. So this says part Syrian examination, part call to arms, a bold case against modern sexual ethics from young Washington Post columnist Christina Imba, and she is Black, and that's all I needed. Yes. So the next one I have is on February 15th, and it's by Josie Silver, and I read One Day in December, and I really enjoyed that romance. So this one's called One Night on the Island, and it's on an island off of Ireland, and there's like only one cabin left, and both of them are stuck there, essentially, and they have to share the cabin, so it sounds cute. Off the coast of Ireland, sounds cute. So it's just one that looks cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, one room, one bed. Oh. So the next one I heard of from Mara, and it's called The Paradox Hotel. It's out on February 22nd. A murder mystery that happens in a hotel for time travelers. And I am always looking for a book that has to deal with time travel. I don't feel like I find them often, and when I do, they're not always great. So this, a murder mystery in a hotel for time travelers, just sounds like a really awesome premise. So hopefully it lives up to what my mind is starting to put together, because that could be amazing. So let's hope it is. It's by Rob Hart. Haven't heard of this person, but come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Bring it. Okay, so this next one, I'm very hesitant because I don't know. We have a mixed history, me and Victoria Schwab. So this is Gallant, and it is under the name V.E. Schwab. And I was under the impression that when her books were under V.E. Schwab, that it was adult. And when it was Victoria Schwab, it was either young adult or middle grade. So this says V.E. Schwab. However, it also says Green Willow Books, and I looked up Green Willow Books, and their website says they publish children's books. So I was like, is it young adult, or is it, like, I'm confused. I don't even really know what it's about. It just says some girl about a shadow or something. She used to go to some school, and now she sees shadows. And it says The Secret Garden meets Crimson Peak. I'm intrigued because I went into Addie LaRue Ready to Hate It, and I loved it. It didn't work for everybody, but it worked for me. It spoke to me. So I'm wondering if this will also, but I don't know. So I'm like, but that's what the library's for. So I will give it a chance. We shall see. On March 22nd, I saw this. I think Bethany has an arc of this, and it really was just the cover. So if I don't end up enjoying it, that's on me. But it's called The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller. And literally, like I said, it's because of the cover, but it says a fascinating whodunit set in a gothic world of secrets and magic, where a dying emperor charges his favorite concubine with solving his own murder. Okay. Again, these premises, like, they sound really promising. So let's hope Sarah pulled it together and it's really actually worth it, because that cover is beautiful and I would not mind having that on my shelf, okay? April 5th, I'm the worst at this. I'll have to try to cut these in order. I have Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Have I read Station 11? No. Or the other one she has? No. Oh, The Glass Hotel? I have not. But this one, I don't know. The cover is just intriguing me. Again, it's another like sci-fi dystopian, or no, sci-fi kind of future, maybe kind of historical, because it says, so it takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon 300 years later. So we're moving through time. That's a lot going on. I don't know. I just hear great things about Station 11, and I hope I love it when I read it. And so if I do, then this one I will definitely read. I mean, I still want to read this one anyway. It sounds intriguing. Unless I hate Station 11, then maybe I won't. But that's not the point. It sounds intriguing, okay? Moving on to April 19th. Oh, Oh my God, I can't believe I have to wait all the way till April 19th. Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the sequel to Black Sun, which I read in September. And for some reason, I thought the sequel came out in November, but I was incorrect. It does not come out until April. The ending of Black Sun. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have read it so soon. But anyway, the cover of this is hideous. So I'm mad because I own Black Sun. The cover of it is gorgeous and I don't want to own this copy. So I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, cannot wait for that. Whew, because some things I need to know. I need to know what's happening. I need to know where we're going. Then on to May 17th, I have The Stardust Thief. And there are a lot of books on this list that are from Tor and Orbit. This is by Orbit, by Chelsea Abdullah. And so this one is inspired by the stories from 1001 Nights. And it says, the gripping tale of a legendary smuggler, a cowardly prince, and a dangerous quest across the desert to find a magical lamp. Yes, sounds great. It's okay if after this you cancel me because somehow I managed to forget one of my most anticipated releases for 2022, and that's Amari and the Great Game, which is the follow-up to Amari and the Night Brothers. I don't know how I forgot this one, but I will say that I was confused because I thought it was coming out in February, but then I feel like I remember the author tweeting that it got pushed back, and so when I looked at like Amazon and bookshop.org, they have May 31st. So I'm assuming that is the date. Either way, I cannot wait for this book. Amari was one of my favorite reads this year, and I'm sure that the second one is going to be amazing. I love this cover. I love everything about Amari. So ashamed I forgot her, but nevertheless, I'm excited for the sequel. This next one, honestly, just because of the title, it's called The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentile. I have that as coming out June 7th. And I didn't really look up anything past that. I just saw a woman in the library and I was like, I like books. But it's, I think, a murder mystery in a room. It says, the reading room at the Boston Public Library is quiet until the tranquility is shattered by a woman's terrified scream. So it says, while they wait for the all clear, 4 strangers who happen to sit at the same table pass the time in conversation. So apparently I think one of the people at the table is supposed to be the murderer. I didn't want to read any more than that. Did Mara talk about this one? She might have did. I don't know. I'm intrigued. On June 21st, I have Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. Again, another Black love romance that says a reality star and a cupcake making football player pretend to be a couple to save his bakery. Now, I don't know if fake dating is my favorite trope, but baking, it has potential. It has potential. So I'm going to give it a try. And the cover is so cute. On June 28th, a nonfiction I have is called Rogues, True Stories of Grifters, Killers, Rebels, and Crooks by Patrick Radden Keefe. And I just read his book, Empire of Pain, which was incredible. So I am going to read this one. So this is apparently a collection of articles or essays that he wrote for The New Yorker. But Empire of Pain was incredible, so I already bought another one of his books and I definitely want to read this one, and yeah, basically whatever else he puts out from this point, because Empire of Pain, woof, read it. Also on June 28th, another nonfiction is called Bi, The Hidden Culture, History, and Science of Bisexuality by Julia Shaw. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but it sounds good. It says it's an original book on the science of sexuality beyond gender from an internationally best-selling pop psychologist. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Okay. On July 12th, I have Bet on It by Jodie Slaughter. I have heard of her, and I think she has a lot of indie published work. I haven't read any of those yet, but this one looks really cute, and I will say that a couple of reasons that I want to read it is the main character has my last name. And in the few lines that I read, she has a panic attack in the Piggly Wiggly, excuse me. And then it says, blah, 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 Greenbelt, South Carolina, excuse me. So I have to read it. That's it. That's really it. That's all I got. You'll see if it was good or not. A quick break to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Surfshark is a virtual private network, or a VPN, that has servers in over 65 countries, and they can protect your information online, but also get you access to content that may be blocked in your country. And one account gets you access on all platforms. So only one account for your household. You can use it on multiple devices, Xbox, phone, TV, whatever. So are you missing The Office because it was taken off of Netflix in the United States? Well, if you have a VPN, you can change that. And obviously that works for Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, many things. If it's blocked in your country, it's worth getting a VPN, and you can access that information. It also protects you while you're online, on public Wi-Fi, your email, so many benefits. So with my code Owens, OWENS, you get 83% off and 4 extra months free. I know that sounds redonkulous, but it's for real. So click the link down below and use my code Owens, OWENS, for 83% off and 4 extra months for free. Thank you to Surfshark. Let's get back to the video. Into August, I have August 9th, The Monsters We Defy by L. Penelope. So when I was writing this list, it didn't have a cover. Now it has a cover, published by Orbit. So it says it's a heist story set in 1925. So it's like historical fantasy, but it says mixed with African-American folk magic and set in DC. Yes. Sign me up. Thank you. They're really getting me with these covers and these names, because this one was called The Book Eaters, and I was like, okay. Yes, by Sunyi Dean. So this one I had that was a queer fantasy. It says it's a story of motherhood, sacrifice, and hope, queer identity, accepting who you are. Out on the Yorkshire moors lives a secret line of people for whom books are food. I didn't read beyond that, so I'm here for it. Then I have on August 16th, The First Binding by R.R. Verdi. And this one, it's like, it says all legends are born of truth, and a story about someone who like releases the first evil, I think. This is a story of how I let loose the first evil. So I don't know, it just sounds like folktale-y fantasy. I don't know. It's by Tor. Oh my god, it says 864 pages. Holy shit, is it a standalone? Oh my lord. It says this is a story of how I let loose the first evil. Thus begins the tale of a storyteller and a singer on the run, hoping to find obscurity in a tavern bar. But the sins of their past aren't forgotten, and neither are their enemies. I really don't know what's going on here, but I put it on my list, so that better be a standalone though. 800, oh my god! That's a lot of pages.
My most
anticipated book for all of 2022 comes in August 23rd by R.F. Kuang, and it's Babel, or The Necessity of Violence, an Arcane History of the Oxford Translators Revolution. All I know is it's like dark academia. I think it's a standalone. Rebecca did what she had to do in the Poppy War, so I have faith in her, because we already got a little bit of that dark academia with the first book with Ren at the academy. Oh my god. And this is set at Oxford, so most anticipated. Oh my god. August? But we know time, it'll fly by, but yes, that is my #1 for next year. October 13th, Silverborn, The Mystery of Morgan Crow comes out. Have I read past the first book? No, that's not the point, okay? I have the first 3 books, and I need to read the next 2, and then this one comes out. But now I'm like, well, this one comes out in October, so I have time. I kind of want to go back and reread Nevermore, and then read Wondersmith, then read Hollowpox, then be ready for this one. You know what I'm saying? I loved Nevermore when I read it, and so I've heard the next books get even better. So exciting to hear there's another one in this series coming out. I don't know how many there are supposed to be, but I am much excited. Another one I don't know much about, but it comes out on October 18th, called One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. And I just have, it's a gothic fantasy. It says, Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. And I was sold. On November 8th, I have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. So I think this is supposed to, I mean, it doesn't have a cover, but it does say November 8th, so there's time. And this is her new heist novel. It is pitched as Peaky Blinders with vampires. The novel follows a gang of outcasts in a deadly heist to save her tea room, which fronts as an illegal blood house. So, yes, please. And those are the last ones that I have an exact date for. So there are 3 that are listed to come out next year, but they should, but there's not much information on them. There's no date nor there's no cover. So The Sun and the Void, which is an Orbit book by Gabriela Romero La Cruz, and it is a South American fantasy, I think, set in the 1800s. She's Venezuelan, so I know Angela is very excited about this one, and that sounds intriguing. I'm excited to know more about what it's supposed to be about. Also, The Lost Metal, which is Mistborn number 7, which I think is the final in Mistborn era 2. Oh my god! Brandon Sanderson. So this one should come out in 2022. It's already finished. Like, he's already let people know it's updated, it's been turned in. Just don't know when. But I think I like almost want to reread all of era 2 in preparation. But I don't know. But I'm very excited because the last one, Bands of Mourning, oh my god! Oh my god. Woo! The stress. And lastly, there's an untitled book. It just says Skybriar number 1 by Talia Hibbert. So very, very intrigued to see what that is. But holy cow, that was a lot of books. I probably left off something, but more will come up during the year. More things will get actual dates and covers, and we know that the Personal Pan Pizza has caused a lot of delays in books, so hopefully none of these get delayed, but some, it's inevitable that it's gonna happen. But anywho, that was mine, and I know I was like, oh, I don't have that many, and then filming this, I'm like, well, goddamn, bitch, when we about to be finished? I'm thirsty. So let me know about down below any books you're interested in or really excited about for next year. Did I include any of them here or any other ones that weren't included, or what's your top anticipated book for next year? Because obviously Babel is mine, but there's so many good books. The never-ending struggle of so many books always coming out, and I'm just always trying to like read new things but also read old things and then reread favorites, and I'm just like, oh my god, how can I catch a break? So with all of that, I'm not gonna list all those books in the description. Or will I? I mean, maybe if you want to pre-order it, I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I edit this video, but thank you so much. Thank you so much to my patrons. Thanks to everyone who watches and supports the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Think about subscribing. Ways to support my channel, my social media, all that is listed in the description down below. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. A Surfshark VPN would be an excellent and affordable present to yourself this holiday season. So I think that's it. I hope you stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreened, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!